Okay, but you can't guess where I'm at. So I was interested in this table, but then I saw this and went, yes, touch, thank you.
So did you figure out what that was?
I've just now started looking at it. Are you okay if you're on video?
Sure.
Okay. I was just saying I like this because I like to touch everything.
I know, that's what is so good about this, and why I am campaigning to keep it going even when our new exhibit opens, because this is very interactive.
Yeah.
You should see this table after 4 or 5 kids have been in here.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just everything taken, tossed, moved. I mean, they love it.
That's great.
Yeah, they sling that over their shoulders.
That's
and
great.
They pretend to make bullets, and it's.
Oh, I wish I had a kid with me to do that, but I'll be the kid. How's that?
Well, when it came up, whether we were going to keep this going, I decided to list down every day how many visitors I had.
Right.
You'd be amazed. In half an hour, I sometimes have like 25 people
Yeah.
who would just move by,
Yeah.
come, stay, ask a few questions, and
Yeah.
off they go.
So let's see. This is a grinder of some sort.
It's a coffee grinder, but
Coffee grinder.
and
but-
the coffee beans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the point of this is, the significance of this is that people that drank coffee, beer, or tea didn't get cholera. And the whole point was, one day the light went on. Boiling water, that's it.
Boiling water, yeah. Not the coffee or the beer
No,
that some
no.
people would like to think.
No, it was
It's
boiling
boiling the water.
Yep. And that kills all the little critters in the water. The Indians, on the other hand, knew about that 100 years before.
Of course they did.
They wove baskets so tight they were waterproof.
Cool.
So they had a big basket like that. They'd put in their water, and then they'd take red hot stones, put that in, the water would boil, and that would be their drinking water for the
That
week.
is really cool. I like that.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay, so I'm not sure I want to know.
You do, actually. It's quite innovative. That's Native American.
Yeah.
They took cedar logs like this, and they would insert those every 15 inches, leave them overnight, and overnight they'd split. And they do it again and again, and that would be the planks for their plank houses.
Oh, clever.
Because they didn't have power tools. They didn't have
Right.
saws and things like that.
Okay, so these two objects have been used together and are related to, are related to the picture below. What could you do with a gun on the trail? Shoot things?
Shoot little things like
Shoot
rabbit.
Yeah,
And no
like
pressure.
your
Your whole
food.
family is waiting for you to bring dinner
To
home.
bring food,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. So you melt the lead in there, and then you pour it into. I guess you pour it like that.
Yeah, it seems like that would be
Yeah.
the most logical.
And then the thing forms, and you take it out, a little bullet, and you cut the little tail off, and there you have it.
Nice.
Something for guys to do outside the wagon at night.
Yeah.
By candlelight.
Yeah, or maybe some women too, you never know.
Maybe.
And then carry...
That
which
is
this
a
was
real
used to-
cattle horn, and that
Is
was what you
It's
kept your
made from-
gunpowder dry.
Okay, yeah, that was important because I'm sure if it was wet,
That's
it wouldn't
right.
do anything.
That's right. And again, you'd run around and look for some poor animal to kill to supply food. For
I mean, I don't know why I'm laughing at that. It's just...
It's me being very cynical.
No, I know. I mean, and you know what? It wasn't just that. It was survival.
Absolutely.
You know, it wasn't just
Survival.
for sport.
No.
It was survival.
And you're walking 15 miles a day. You need the protein. You need the food, the calories.
I imagine. And okay, so mystery object. I'm going to come back to that last because I'm still thinking. So I was just at a rock museum yesterday, the Rice Museum.
Yes.
Rock. And this I want to say is a thunder egg.
Yep. Then that's the thunder egg before they cut it in half.
I got it. And this is
Actually,
before they cut it. right?
Native Americans believed that the thunderbirds lived on Mount Hood and Mount Jefferson and would throw these things at each other.
Oh.
And that would be thunder and lightning.
Is that why they call them thunder eggs?
They call them thunder eggs.
Because of that story from the Native
That's right.
Americans.
That's right.
Wow.
And however, we know that they were geodes that were spewed out of volcanoes.
Right.
The Pacific Northwest is the most volcanic part of the United States. Through your teepee, at the middle of the night.
No, or flying at me at
And the
all.
museum that you went to, did you see the huge one they have? It's about 40-something pounds.
Yes, I did.
It's the
That was in
largest
the.
one I've ever found.
That was just incredibly.
Isn't it unbelievable?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a really amazing museum.
We have one about this size where the precious stone inside was obsidian. So obsidian, as you may know, is black, completely black.
right.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Right.
We don't put it out because it's actually quite valuable.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So we don't.
Yeah,
Because
you don't wanna-
people, you know, I tell stories of the oxen shoe actually was in two halves, and a guest decided to
Aw.
take it.
Come on, people.
Her little bonnet disappeared, so I
Aw.
made a new one, and I gave her two
Aw.
braids and a fringe.
Okay, so this
That is a
US
branding iron invented by Meriwether Lewis.
branding iron.
It was a branding iron for branding trees, so they could find their way back.
Oh, branding. I wouldn't have thought about that.
It's very clever.
Yeah, it is very clever.
And he put it up high,
Yeah.
and there was a little wooden piece in here that had the latitude and longitude.
Oh,
And they'd give trade piece metal with the Native Americans,
Okay.
who would then do a resupply cache
Yeah.
under the tree,
huh.
8 feet down, so predators couldn't get it. It would be dried food,
Right.
salmon, you know, stuff to
Right.
eat, fresh ammunition, all that kind of thing.
Okay.
That was before they realized that we were stealing their land from them.
Yeah.
Things, relations were quite good.
My grandparents, my grandfather, when he came over from Italy in 1905, he was 5, and his parents were given a homestead. And before they could claim the homestead, I've always remembered this story, and it's not a nice one, but before they could claim the land, they had to get the Indians or the Native Americans off that piece of land.
right.
And I just always remember that story, and it's not a nice heritage, but it
No,
happened.
It happened, and you know, we were just we're retraining. I'm a docent, and when the new exhibit opens, I'm retraining for that.
Oh, yeah.
Although, as I said to you, I want to keep this. But the calling these people settlers was really very misleading.
Yeah,
You know,
it was already settled.
It was already very well settled for
Yeah.
thousands of years.
Yeah.
We have proof of it. We know it. We have sandals that are 10,000 years old.
Yeah, we just came along and said, all right, mine
Yeah,
now.
This looks good.
You're gone. Yeah,
And
I
we
know.
reneged on every single treaty we ever made with them, too.
Yeah, that's just not right.
I know, it's really awful.
So this one, yeah, I figured it was to do your hair, but man, if you got that thing too hot, I could see how that would burn off your hair. Huh?
Well, that's what I warned people. The only catch was you have to get it out of the fire before it's melted your hair.
Fire. They meant get this out of the fire, not your hair out of the fire.
That's right. Get that out of the fire.
There wasn't a lot of room to spare on the wagon, but this was a necessity.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, the things they put in the wagons were unbelievable, like grandfather clocks,
Yeah.
200-piece dinner services.
that most of them had to then discard along the trail because
Exactly.
the oxen couldn't handle it.
Precisely, and that's why we have all this stuff upstairs.
Because yeah.
You know,
Oh,
I think we
wow.
have 4 or 5 grandfather clocks that are taller
That were
than
just
me.
discarded on the trail and that we
Yeah.
found. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know what this is.
Yes, well, this
Beaver.
is my baby. He's so beautiful.
It is a beaver, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was at the Fort Vancouver historical site. I've been there many times, and that's a really fun place to go.
Oh, wow.
And they have a lot of beaver pelts.
We do too, but this is probably the largest. Mostly
That's nice.
girl beavers were very much smaller. But there you see where his little eyes were.
Right.
And here you can see where they took his little tail.
Oh.
And you know, the tails were flat leather because they used it to spank the water to warn off enemies.
Oh, the beavers, not us.
The beavers, right. And the story was that a little girl, I was giving a tour, and she said, "Excuse me, miss, but what did they do with the tails?" And I thought, oh no. Well, I'll Google that and get back to you. So
What
three
did
of
they
us-
do with the tails?
So 3 of us researched it, and what they did.
Okay, hang on.
The Indians, their beads and wampum and coins and whatever else they had,
Right.
sharp objects. What did we do with the tails? Threw them out.
Of course. We're such a wasteful society, aren't we?
Terrible.
Okay, so now we come to the mystery object.
Yes, well, it's missing a little clampy piece, but the point of it was that if you got a tooth infection, you're not going to find a dentist on a 3,000-mile trail, and that a tooth infection could be life-threatening, septicemia, blood poisoning. So that was a tooth
Tooth puller.
extractor. Tooth extractor, yeah. I know.
Well-
That's how most people react.
You know, I have a tendency to malign modern technology right now because I feel like it's taking away from personal interaction, but I would not want to do that.
No, I wouldn't
myself.
either. And
I
I
would-
had a tooth extracted in the new modern way. It's done completely by machine. Nothing hurts.
Nothing
it's
hurts,
over and
yeah.
done with, and that's the end of it.
So I'm all for not going back to that. That's great. And then this last piece of fur is...
This the little piece. I couldn't have a whole one because they're so huge. It's buffalo.
Oh, it's buffalo, okay.
Yeah, and what really did the buffalo in was the Industrial Revolution because their hide was so tough that they used it for fan belts on tractors and trucks.
Did they really?
And of course, typically white man, they would shoot the buffalo, skin him, take the carcass and leave the, take the
Yeah.
hide and leave the carcass to rot in the sun,
Yeah.
thus depriving the Native Americans of a primary source of food
And shelter and
everything else.
clothing and-
Because they made blankets out of this fur. They didn't mind that it was scrunchy.
You know, it's
Kept you
funny.
warm.
My uncle, his name is Jimmy Burnett, and he had a ranch in Montana, and so it was Jimmy and Betty Burnett, and he raised buffalo, and he was one of the first to successfully crossbreed a cow and a buffalo
Oh my goodness.
to get beefalo,
Okay.
to then have that be able to produce offspring. But a funny story is that my aunt Betty would take the patties, the buffalo patties that, their waist,
Yes.
and they were nice and flat and big and round. She would spray paint them, put trees on them, put little decorations, and sell them in the shops, and they sold.
Good God, but how innovative. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so and then I can remember going down into their basement and going into his office, and he had this huge buffalo head mounted to the wall, and you'd walk in and you didn't know it was there, and you'd walk in and you look over and you're like, geez.
Yeah, because they are
Huge.
enormous. They are
Yeah.
enormous. I was at a zoo in London, and they had a couple of buffalo, and they were in an enclosure which had a sort of metal bar across the gate, so they
Yeah.
couldn't get out. And they'd get frustrated near dinner time,
Yeah.
and so they'd go "Ooh," like that.
Yeah.
And I happened to be standing in front of them. My God, I nearly jumped right out of my
Oh,
skin.
yeah.
They are big guys, and
Yeah.
and their heads, just like this part is about that wide.
Oh, yeah.
And then they got their little horns.
And then their eyes to the side. My aunt used to tell me, she would say, you never go around the buffalo unless they're in the pens, because if you get close to them, I think this is right, their sight is not too good.
No.
And if they detect something there, they will charge it. And
That's
she
right.
always used to tell me, you be careful around those buffalo, because they'll butt you, and you
Well, my son is a creative director for an ad agency, and they were on a shoot in eastern Oregon, and they're in a what do you call it, an RV, big thing with camera equipment and all that in it. And there was a herd of buffalo, and they started to charge,
Yeah.
and the male started to bang and hammer on
Yeah.
the side of the RV.
Yeah, they'll charge you, so
Yeah,
you got to
sure.
be careful. And so I always remember that. But yeah, I can remember walking into that office and turning the light on and looking over, and there's this huge eye looking at you, and you just, almost fell over. Yeah. Well,
That's
it's
very funny.